Welcome to LightHouse KinShip's devotional video, Spiritual Fatigue and Weariness, the 12. Psalms 107, verse 23a, 24, 27 to 31, New American Standards. Those who go down to the sea in ships, they have seen the works of the Lord and his wonders in the deep. They reeled and staggered like a drunken person and were at their wits' end. Then they cried out to the Lord in their trouble, and he brought them out of their distress.
He caused the storms to be still, so that the waves of the sea were hushed. Then they were glad because they were quiet, so he guided them to their desired harbor. They shall give thanks to the Lord for his mercy, and for his wonders to the sons of mankind. Today is Wednesday, January 4th, 2023. Monica and I are here at a pedestrian bridge over Mill Creek, where a small natural spring flows into it. Yesterday morning we started to get rain showers that turned into strong thunderstorms. As you can see, both creeks are up, and Mill Creek is extremely muddy, while the natural spring is still clear. We're at Tannehill Ironworks Historical State Park in McCalla, Alabama.
For Joseph, Elijah, and David, their distress, despair, hopelessness, spiritual fatigue, and weariness was caused by jealousy from siblings, a brazen hussy, a vile female, and jealousy from a leader. Jesus' 12 disciples' spiritual fatigue and weariness came from the natural.
Mark 4, verse 35 to 37 NLT. As evening came, Jesus said to his disciples, "Let's cross to the other side of the lake." So they took Jesus in the boat and started out, leaving the crowds behind, although other boats followed. But soon a fierce storm came up. High waves were breaking into the boat, and it began to fill with water.
My experience of a fierce storm, high waves, and howling winds was not on the water, but on land. When Bobby and I purchased our home of 35 years, we did not know we were in line of Tornado Alley. We experienced two different tornadoes. The first came just minutes after my sons and I arrived home from a day of school in early spring. It was 3:30 in the afternoon. The sun was bright and inviting, the sky blue with white fluffy cotton clouds drifting by and a soft spring breeze. But within seconds, the bright sunny day turned into black howling winds and rain so heavy and strong that every pine tree in our yard was screaming and screeching. The second tornado was the darkest, scariest, and the most damaging. This tornado came blasting in around 4 a.m. early February. The scariest moments were hearing the winds hissing through our home, the rain raging against our windows, and the roaring sound of the 5-engine freight train heading straight into our lives. All of the pine trees that were screaming and screeching years earlier in the first tornado laid extremely quiet all over our 1 acre and all around our home.
Mark 4, verse 38 NLT. Jesus was sleeping at the back of the boat with his head on a cushion. The disciples woke him up, shouting, "Teacher, don't you care that we're going to drown?"
Have you ever asked the Lord as the 12, don't you care that we're going to drown? The last tornado caused damage to our property, a storage building, but our home and our lives were securely in the Lord's protective hands. There was no physical damage to our home or to us. However, now the raging storm of fierce, howling winds and dark rains beating continue against Bobby and me for over a decade has caused us overwhelming spiritual fatigue and weariness.
Mark 4, verse 39-40 NLT. When Jesus woke up, he rebuked the wind and said to the waves, "Silence, be still." Suddenly the wind stopped, and there was a great calm. Then he asked them, "Why are you afraid? Do you still have no faith?"
Faith, believing in words that are written in a book that is centuries old and spoken by an individual that I have never seen. Faith, believing what I cannot see in the reality of my day-to-day, but believing the words given to my heart, soul, and spirit by the one who created heaven, earth, and all, including me.
Mark 4:41 NLT. The disciples were absolutely terrified. "Who is this man?" they asked each other. "Even the wind and waves obey him."
This concludes our devotional video of Lighthouse Kinship, Spiritual Fatigue and Weariness, the 12, Romans 10:17, Good News Translation. So then, faith comes from hearing the message, and the message comes through preaching Christ. Hebrews 11, verse 6, Amplified. But without faith, it is impossible to walk with God and please Him. For whoever comes near to God must necessarily believe that God exists and that He rewards those who earnestly and diligently seek Him.
Monica and I thank you for traveling along with us here. We're at a small stream on Ironworks Loop Stagecoach Road in Tannehill Ironworks Historical State Park, McCalla, Alabama. Come along and journey with us by subscribing to our channel. Hit that little notification bell so that you won't miss our next stop. And please give us a thumbs up, liking our videos, and help us to spread the gospel by sharing these videos on your social media platforms. Thank you for leaving your comments below on how these devotions are helping you, and also your prayer requests so that we know how to pray for you.